And each channel serves a different purpose. So social media, your strategy needs to be intentional and consistent. You don't own social media. So anything you create for social media, it needs to be repurposed onto something that you own. Hey, Boudoir photographers. Are you ready to be totally booked out with high-paying clients? I'm Tracy Lynn, and I went from side hustle photographer to running $1 million boudoir photography business, working just 30 hours a month. That's right, just 30 hours a month. On this podcast, I tell you how I did it and how you can too. Hey there, and welcome back to Sustainable Freedom with Boudoir Photography. I'm super excited that you're here because today I really want to talk about different challenges that photographers might face in the industry. So if you are watching, just to let you know, I'm recording this about 2 weeks early, and I'm going to be recording several different ones. So you might even see me in the same t-shirt. I am not getting dressed up for these. I am just going to record on the fly and get them done. It has been a pretty hectic few weeks. It's Memorial Day weekend, just right after Memorial Day weekend today. So it's been a hectic few weeks and I am just trying to survive, but I also need to make sure that I get the content out, get it ready before it's time to go live. I don't like to be behind. So that's what we're doing today, is just getting things done. I know you photographers, you have businesses, so you know exactly what I'm talking about, how I just need to get these things done and get them out in the world. But the information in it is really good. I've had it written for several weeks now, and so I'm very excited to share it with you. So let's get started. So I want to start by focusing on photographers just starting out with boudoir photography. Each one of us, we've all been here. Navigating the early days in the industry in boudoir photography is very, very tough. There are challenges like pricing, actually getting clients, and building a portfolio. Probably all those three things are topping the list of challenges for boudoir photographers. So the first challenge, one of the most major hurdles that a new photographer is going to face, is pricing their services effectively. I know. It's tempting to offer all-inclusive packages to feel competitive in the market. However, that can backfire. An all-inclusive pricing strategy has several problems, but most importantly, it captures income because you're giving them a price. That is the price they get. They get everything. So you have no chance to do any upsells. But practically, on the other hand, asking for large amounts of money up front, it's actually a barrier to booking clients. So if you haven't already established trust with the client, if you don't have a portfolio that speaks for itself, or if the client has had any past experience or hasn't had any past experiences for you, clients hesitate to book. And I mean, that's fair. But instead, if you present them with a more affordable session fee, you can build that trust and allow them to fall in love with their photos organically. That opens the doors to higher sales after the session. So start with a lower session fee. That's a strategic move. It lowers the barrier to entry, and clients are able to experience that transformative power of a boudoir session without a huge upfront cost. The thing is, with this strategy, you're going to have to do IPS or in-person sales after the session. So if a client has an incredible and luxurious transformative experience, there's no way they won't buy. Once clients see their beautiful images, they're more likely to invest in luxury products like albums and prints because they perceive the value as dramatically increased, to be honest, through that very personal experience. So basically, if we break it down, they're going to pay you more if you give them a better experience and you start off with that lower session fee to get more clients through the doors. Now, one thing that I want to talk about before we move on, and this is something that's come up this week, a lot of photographers, when you're a beginner, when you're newer to in-person sales, this is going to be terrifying, if I'm being honest. It's going to be scary for you to go into your first in-person sales sessions, and I just want you to know that's normal. It's going to make you feel like you are starting over. You're going to have no self-confidence. It's normal, and once you get past that first IPS session, you're going to be fine. You'll probably have a few kinks that you need to work out, but it's okay. Once you work those kinks out, you're going to be totally fine. You're going to make those sales, and your sales will increase the more of these ordering sessions that you do. The second challenge beginner photographers typically have is finding paying clients and then handling that workload once they have those clients in their doors. So brand new photographers, they typically struggle to find these paying clients. And when you're new to photography, your friends and your family and your family's friends and your friends' friends, well, they all want to, quote, hire you to take their photos. But by hiring you, they don't actually want to pay you. So here's a scenario that happened to more photographers than I can count. Let's call this photographer Sarah. Sarah is not a real person, but Sarah probably does photograph a few of these family and friend sessions until eventually she realizes these family and friend sessions are not going to pay the bills. So she starts marketing, trying to find clients. She's really hustling. She's posting cheaper sessions on Facebook and Instagram. She's running mini sessions, and she even has a busy season. Her fall is great. She makes $5,000. The problem is she was so busy during her busy season that she was barely able to handle the amount of clients that she had. Her turnaround time was 3 to 4 months after the session. And on top of that, she completely neglected her marketing strategy, meaning when she finally caught up with her sessions and she delivered that last photo, well, she looked at her calendar and realized she didn't have any other sessions on her books at all. So she begins to panic and she has to start all the way over with her marketing strategy. I think we all know that when you stop your marketing altogether, it's like you're starting from scratch when you come back. So that's exactly what you don't want to do. So 2 things I want you to take from this story. Build a workflow in your business, something that you can keep up with so that you always know what's coming and what you need to do next. And the second thing, reframe your mindset. Marketing is a non-negotiable task in your business. I recommend to my clients to build out 1 full day per week that's strictly dedicated to marketing. I always call Mondays my marketing Monday. So we just have to keep the momentum going to continue to bring in clients. It is something you cannot avoid. The third challenge a lot of these beginner photographers experience is creating a repeatable portfolio. We need to talk about the importance of building a consistent portfolio that showcases what you can deliver. It's something beginner photographers struggle with for sure. And it can be tempting to use images from styled shoots or sessions set up by someone else in your portfolio, perhaps from conferences like maybe Shutterfest or just a shootout that you go to. However, if these images represent scenarios or styles that you cannot replicate on your own, they shouldn't be shown to your potential clients, like at all. Your portfolio must reflect your style and your capabilities. Clients will expect you to deliver what they see in your portfolio, so make sure that every image is something that you can recreate with confidence. Authenticity builds trust. So when potential clients look at your portfolio, they must see a consistent quality and style that resonates with their expectations. This is your first communication with them about the level of professionalism and skill that they can expect from your services. As a new photographer, you need to face these challenges head on, and you need a strategic approach that's going to set the foundation for your boudoir photography business and allow it to thrive. Remember, every successful photographer started somewhere, and with the right tools and mindset, you can easily work through these really early challenges, and especially if you have like education or somebody on your side. Now let's move on to the in-between stage photographers. So I like to call these the intermediate photographers. You're not yet super experienced, but you aren't a beginner either. So what struggles do you have? To be honest, it's usually scaling your business, refining your pricing strategy, and expanding your marketing strategy. The first challenge I want to talk about for these intermediate photographers is your marketing and your pricing. As an intermediate level, you realize creating an effective price list is harder than you first thought. It's essential to not only understand your costs and how they're involved in your business, basically know your numbers, but also the value that you bring to your clients, meaning your messaging and your marketing strategy is going to affect how your pricing is actually perceived. Effective pricing isn't just about covering costs. It's about understanding the value of your work and communicating it to your clients. And this involves being clear on what sets your boudoir photography business apart from other photography businesses. So, is it the personalized experience? Is it the quality of your images or the post-session service? Ensure that your pricing reflects the value and be prepared to explain why your sessions are priced the way that they are without justifying your pricing. Of course, I know that's a fine line. So we're not going to explain your cost of doing business number by number. It's more explaining the process so that they understand the work that you're putting in and being transparent, because transparency builds trust and justifies your rates to potential clients. And now I just said we're not justifying your pricing, but to be honest, if you explain to a client that your $250 session fee covers your time, your studio rental, and your pricing or your hair and makeup, then they're going to understand a little bit more that you do have to make money on the back end. At least a smart client will. So we need to educate them on the value without laying out the numbers, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So we also want to allow your pricing to evolve as your skills and business grow. So you regularly need to review your cost, marketing position, your client feedback, increase your pricing to reflect your growing expertise, better equipment, more elaborate setups that offer a superior results, but also we need to make sure that we take into account inflation, because let's be honest, 2024 has been very, very inflated. So we need to make sure that we are bringing your business along with the inflation, because you don't deserve to take a pay cut this year. So our pricing strategy and client experience is set to practically guarantee a minimum of $2,000 per session. Our session fee upfront pretty much just covers hair and makeup, the session time, and I do have my associate photographer, Ashley, who you met last week on this podcast, so go watch that episode or listen to it if you haven't yet. But basically, I have a price list that allows me to make the money up with the in-person sales, and I'm also a very good salesperson, so that helps too. But the lower session fee allows me to get clients through the door, and then I know with my sales, with my in-person sales, with my experience as a salesperson at this point, I know that I'm going to make the money that I need to make on the back end. So when you get down to it, our pricing strategy is a lower session fee with IPS or in-person sales. It allows for that lower barrier to entry, allowing us to do sales or giveaways and still make money on the back end and book more clients. Then they get to experience the amazing session that our clients are offered. They leave feeling absolutely beautiful and empowered. And then by the time they get to the sales session, they get to relive that experience again. And after experiencing everything that we offer, they see the value a little bit more. I feel like I said experience a lot, so forgive me for that, but it's just... And then on top of that, our price list, like I said earlier, it's set up with sales psychology in mind. So it is set to push the clients to purchase around that sales average, which is around $2,000 to $2,500. So with the experience and the pricing set up to hit this sales average goal, it gives us that flexibility to host sales and giveaways. And that allows us to fill up our slow season, meaning we never actually have a slow season. The second challenge intermediate photographers struggle with is using only one channel for marketing, and most of the time it's Instagram. And while that's powerful, it shouldn't be your sole method of attracting clients. You need to have multi-channel approaches and diversify your marketing efforts to include more than just social media. Yes, I want you to use it, but also add in email marketing, search engine optimization or SEO, blogging, networking, in-person networking with business owners, client referrals. There's so many options besides just social media. And each channel serves a different purpose. So social media, it's great. It's awesome for connecting with your clients. However, your strategy needs to be intentional and consistent. You don't own social media. So anything you create for social media, it needs to be repurposed onto something that you own. So like your blog and email list primarily. Email marketing keeps you connected with past clients and new leads, and they may book a session in the future, obviously. So that email marketing, it's a direct line to your audience, and it's perfect for sharing special offers, sneak peeks, client testimonials. The nice thing about your email list is you own it. So my main point here, you still need to be intentional and consistent with messaging to attract your ideal clients. And then SEO, or search engine optimization, that enhances your visibility on search engines. Optimize your website, your blog, and your photos on your website with relevant keywords and alt text, and maintain a mobile-friendly site, and regularly add new content to rank higher in search engines. Blogging helps establish your authority in the boudoir photography niche, and you can share tips, session stories, behind the scenes content, and that will improve your SEO efforts, but it's also going to show and prove your authority in your niche. The next thing you need to do is develop a content calendar to manage the posts across all platforms. This helps you maintain a consistent presence online, and it ensures that your audience hears from you all the time with intentional messaging. Our content calendar is in ClickUp, but you don't have to use ClickUp. You can use whatever works for you, even a spreadsheet. But what's really awesome is Ashley has created a custom Chat GPT, and she trained this Chat GPT specifically for creating content. Of course, it's just a tool. It's not something that you can create, copy and paste and post it. It's something that'll get you about 90% of the way there. You have to make sure that what AI gives you is consistent with your messaging and it's on brand, and it needs to be like in your words, in your own brand voice, if you actually want it to work for you. And by the way, we are working on a Chat GPT bonus for most of our offers, so be on the lookout for that. Now, the third challenge that I'm seeing intermediate photographers have, and that is putting themselves out in the real world. Many photographers prefer to hide behind their screen, and they'd rather hide behind their screen than network or build relationships, to be honest. And for sure, digital marketing is very important, but real world interaction is invaluable for businesses like ours. So too many beginner and intermediate level photographers, they want to hide behind their screen. Honestly, this is so important for intermediate photographers because you have a business, it's picking up steam, and you need to show up in your community. So attend community events, join local business groups, collaborate with other local businesses to expand your referral base. Real world interaction, it can lead to opportunities and client referrals that you won't find online. While you're networking and working with clients, you need to focus on building long-term relationships, not just one-time transactions. Actually engage with people. Doing so positions yourself as a committed and involved business owner, and that can be incredibly appealing to potential clients. By creating these amazing relationships in the community and with clients, word of mouth will spread like wildfire. It's often your biggest referral source. So I know it's mine, even with all the other marketing strategies we have in place after 10 years of business. Word of mouth is still one of my biggest referrals. Now let's tackle the challenges established photographers looking to grow and evolve their business might face. These photographers have mastered the basics and are now facing the need to adapt in an ever-changing market. And now we know marketing is constantly changing. What worked 10 years ago isn't working now. I just had a reel get like 220,000 views as of today. So what I was talking about is how different marketing is now than it was in 2016, 2017. So even as an established photographer, you need to change up your strategies often, and you need to stay on top of what's working right now. The first challenge that I've seen established photographers face is adapting to these new market demands. One significant challenge for these photographers is that strategies and tactics that once brought success, it's no longer effective. I've been saying this for the last couple minutes, but the digital landscape, client expectations, and the economy are continually evolving. For instance, social media algorithms, they change, they impact visibility and engagement. So perhaps traditional advertising no longer reaches your audience as it used to. Being flexible and open to experimentation is more crucial than ever. So to stay relevant and competitive, consider adopting new marketing techniques. So you might need to educate yourself on social media marketing strategy. And let's be honest, what worked in 2016 on Instagram, it doesn't work in 2024. That's what that reel was about. So it might be time to invest either time or money into learning the best strategies on Instagram instead. And I want you to know that blogging isn't dead, especially for photographers. Many potential clients check out blogs when planning their sessions. So the majority of my clients, they bring outfits based on the recommendations they found on our blog. And the other thing is having a really great blog proves your authority. It proves how much you know. So don't stop blogging even if you have consistent clients coming in. You want to make sure that you keep that up so that you keep up your SEO, and also so that you keep your clients up to date on new trends and what they should be bringing right now. You also want to join local events and actually attend them. It's going to allow you to meet other business owners who might already serve your ideal client, allowing you to cross promote each other. Establish a referral program, or one that they actually want to participate in, not just like a Starbucks gift card. Your clients probably already want to refer you, but this approach can encourage participation and create even more loyalty towards your business. And then update your brand and website for today's market. I'm looking at you photographers who were like me and had the same logo you started with. Sometimes we need an update. I talked all about that with Ashley last week. Break it down. I was Boudoir by Tracy, Lynn, yet I had a whole team behind me. So my clients were expecting me, but they were getting my more than amazing lead photographer, but it was just a huge disconnect. So make sure that you're looking at your business as a whole and deciding if it is time for an update, but don't update unless it really is time. By the way, I'm doing a 30-day behind the scenes of our rebrand on my Instagram at It's Tracy Lynn. So make sure you go check that out if you want some more information about exactly what we did, why we did it, how we did it. It's labeled on my Instagram like day 1, day 2, day 3. You can go find all of it and just scroll through it. The second challenge a lot of established photographers are experiencing is knowing when it's time to expand. Kind of talked about this already, but let's dive a little bit deeper. As your business grows, scaling up becomes a natural step. You can expand your team by hiring associate photographers. You could have somebody who comes in just for sales, or somebody who just does your marketing or social media or retouching. But it can help you manage the increased demand and expand your reach. You can also open a new studio location. That's what we're doing. We're doing it in Denver, and that allows you to tap into new markets and grow your business that way. I will say it does require more planning than you would think. You need to make sure that you have quality control, brand consistency. You need to make sure that you have a photographer that is going to stick around. You don't want to just be hiring photographers to hire them. It is more than just go find and book clients. The other thing, as somebody who is in the midst of this expansion, standardize your training and service delivery. That will ensure that your brand reputation remains intact no matter where it operates. We are working on creating this standardized training so that no matter what location we open next, we're able to have the same service everywhere. Running a team is a totally different beast, let me tell you. And if you want me to do an entire episode on this, make sure that you DM me on Instagram and let me know. But as you bring more people into your business, it's going to be so important to establish these systems and processes and use project management tools that can help everyone stay aligned and efficient. This not only aids in smooth operations, but in maintaining the quality of the client experience across all touch points, not just the session, not just the shooting. And the final thing that I want to talk about is switching specialties or tapping into the luxury market as an established photographer. Maybe you're doing weddings right now and you want to switch over to boudoir, or maybe you're doing weddings and you want to just do senior portraits. Whatever you're doing, it does require a different approach. Another thing you might be doing is you might be in the all-inclusive and you're trying to tap into a luxury market. That's going to require you to enhance your client experience. All of these different pieces are going to require something different. So you need to make sure that you know all of this up front. And I will say that I think for all of this, the most important thing is offering personalized services, luxury products, exclusive sessions. The key is to create a memorable experience that justifies the premium pricing and sets you apart from the competition. So if you want to pivot to a new genre, it's totally possible. It just requires that planning and a clear understanding of that new target's needs, to be honest. It's also crucial to align your brand and market to appeal to this new audience without alienating your existing client base. And I do think that I have done this recently, to be honest, because typically in my boudoir business, I was really just serving brides. But as I've aged, I've needed to switch over to a woman who is aging with me because I just relate more to that person. And that's okay. If you relate to the person more, you can totally switch. Your ideal client when you started your business doesn't have to be your ideal client later. But because we're switching, it's requiring a totally different marketing approach. It's requiring a totally different even pricing approach. And all of this is being changed with our rebrand, and it's working out amazing. Our sales average has gone from like 1,500 to 2,000 to 2,500 to 4,000 recently. So it's all been good. It just required a lot of planning on our part, from the marketing to revamping the blog strategy to revamping a lot of the things that we had in place that have worked for the last 10 years. Now, if you only get one thing from this episode, I want you to see that photographers of all levels are gonna struggle, regardless of whether they're just starting out, finding their footing, or they have years of experience under their belts. It is a normal part of being a photographer. And remember, these hard times don't mean that you're not talented or you shouldn't run a business. There are chances to grow and chances to improve your business so that you can create the sustainability that I know you're wanting in your life and your business. Or you wouldn't be listening to this podcast, right? By the way, I'm still offering free 15-minute coaching calls to podcast listeners. If there's something in your business you're struggling with and you'd like another set of eyes, or you just want to pick my brain, click the link in the show notes, schedule a call, and let's take a look. Thank you for listening to this episode of Sustainable Freedom with Boudoir Photography. Please be sure to rate and follow so that you never miss an episode. They drop every Thursday, and they're always full of super actionable information for you to apply right now in your boudoir business. Until then, make your next shoot your best shoot.